Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Kavi Chandra Swaminiti Namini Namaste Prabhupada Tarinama Pracharini Granta Vitarana Piti Vishigayana Sada Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Charini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasatyare Shatarini Namo Mahavadaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Guritiche Nama Panchatatamagam Krishna Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhaktavatara Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandha Jagapate Gopisha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanta Namosute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Narachaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Nato Jayamudiraid Nashta Prayesha Padrishu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki. So we are all welcome. The teacher Prabhu, it seems you are inside the car. Are you going somewhere? You are muted. Please unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Sorry, Prabhuji. No, I'm not driving. I'm not traveling. I'm in the temple, but I have parked my car.
Okay.
Attending the lecture because outside there is a noise, so I'm prefer to sit inside.
I understand. It's all right. Thank you,
yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Sarika Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you for your wonderful services.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. My obeisances to all of the Vaishnava devotees.
All glories to you, Prabhu. You're welcome.
You have blessed me so that I can remain in devotional service.
Prabhu, you're already doing it now. Now we need your blessing. For how many years you have been in this devotional service? Now we need your blessing. Hare Krishna, you're welcome. So let's start. Okay, Prabhu. Madhuva Prabhu, please, you are going to open the floor. Please start. We are going to hear from you. I hope please you can make me co-host so that sometimes I can regulate if there's some noise from background. Madhuva Prabhu, please, you can start. You are muted.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, without wasting much time, I'm giving a presentation on Canto 3, Chapter 11, text 1 to 8. So the chapter is titled Calculation of Time from the Atom. So it's quite interesting how time could be related with atom. So first, we're going to the definition of what atom is. The first definition is the atom is the ultimate particle of material manifestation, which is indivisible and not formed into a body. So, then the material body is also a combination of such atom. the atom is also the minute, subtle form of time. The atom themselves form the complete manifestation. So in essence, from my own clear understanding, how to relate time with atom. Ultimately, the movement of the sun is the main factor for calculating time. And the atomic time is the time it takes the sun to move, to cover the space of an atom. So that is called the atomic time, which is the smallest time we can, in terms of units. So time is the potency of the Supreme Lord, who controls the physical movement, even though it's not visible in the physical world. Atomic time is measured according to its covering a particular space, just like I've earlier explained. So the time which covers the unmanifested aggregate of atoms is called the great time. That is the sum total of the unmanifested atoms. Atom itself is not visible, but by certain combination, it can be visible. So standard time is therefore calculated by the movement of the sun, and the time taken to cover the space of an atom is called the atomic time, as I've earlier explained. So according to the Srimad Bhagavatam, or the Vedic injunctions, it is explained that 2 atoms equals 1 double atom. Then we have 3 double atoms. When they combine, then they become 1 hexatom, that is trasanum, according to Vedic injunction. Then this hexatom is visible in the sunshine, which enters through the holes of the window screen. That is, even though atoms, they are not visible, but by their combination, especially when about 6 of them combine, that is 3 double atoms, to form trasanum, then it becomes visible in the sunshine, which we can see as a ray of light entering through a window. So the time duration needed for the integration of 3 trasanums is called T. That is 3 trasanums equals 1 T. And 1 T is just, we can imagine what 1 T is by our own modern day calculation. That is 1 T will be 1 second when we divide it by 1,687.5. So that forms the time duration for just 1 T. And if you combine 100 T now, according to, as stated, I think in text 4, but 100 T we get 1 Veda. Then 3 Veda, we get 1 Lava. So like this, by this calculation, the sun is the central point for calculating all different durations. And this still continues. When we combine 3 lavas, we get 1 Nimesa. So we get 1 Nimesa. So we can see how technical the analysis is. And when we continue with the analysis, we can link it with our own modern day time calculation. So if you go further, we can see how we can relate this timing with our day-to-day calculation. If I'm permitted, when we have 3 lavas, that's when we get 1 nivesa, and 3 nivesa becomes 1 shana. 5 shana, we get 1 caster, and 15 caster equals 1 lagu. Then 1 lagu equals 2 minutes. So we can see how the Vedic injunction, can be linked with our own present day calculation. So it's also explained, that should be text 7 if I'm all right, that the atomic calculation of the time in terms of Vedic wisdom may be converted into present time with this understanding. That is, when we now combine 15 lagus, then we have 1 nadika or a danda. When we combine 2 danda, we have muhuta, then 6 or 7 dandas. We get a quarter of day or night according to human calculations. So like this, you can see how practically we're able to relate, calculate time from atomic atomic level or profile. So it's quite interesting because in this modern day life, we only know 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 day, 2 days, but we don't really know the in-depth, how this is related or how this time is being generated or calculated. So we are very lucky to have exposure to this type of knowledge and in-depth knowledge. And even before this time, I started wondering, when I saw this chapter, the title of this chapter, that's calculation of time from an atom, I couldn't understand, because I believe time, the unit of time, which is different from the units of a mass or an atom. But somehow, this chapter, I was able to realize the correlation between time and atom. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you very much for your presentation. And you did very well.
Thank you, Prabhu.
And there's some breakdown that I'm going to give. If you have somewhere you can write that down about all this Tuesday and all these details.
Okay.
So very well. Thank you very much for your presentation. So, like Prabhu was explaining, how it's been explained in the Bhagavatam, we can see Trasareno is the atom of time that we can perceive. I know many of us, we have seen when a ray of sun is entering our window, you can see some particle in those rays of sun. I think many of us we have experienced this, isn't it?
Yeah.
We see some particles in the rays of sun.
Yes.
So those particles we are seeing in the rays of sun moving upward is called Trasareno. Is the visible atom we can see. That is like it's explained here, is the 3 double atoms making hexatom. So it's the smallest atom we can see with our eyes. And that is how time is formulated. So whatever we are saying, the wonderful thing about this passage is that it's telling us how from the particle, the atomic particle is what is making this universe. You know when Krishna said, I'm inside the atom and I'm inside the gigantic universe, we don't understand. So from this particle is what make up this universe. This gigantic we are saying is from these particles. Particles come together, atom come together, atom coming together, come together. Then we have this gigantic universe. So the time is controlling everything because Krishna said, "Time I am." So in the form of time that Krishna has entered even the atom is manipulating everything, and that is why we see with time we are growing old. With time, even the strongest iron is getting rusted. With time, even a very wonderful strong building, after some time, it starts becoming weak. And after some time, the thing starts going back to the different particles of atom. So with time, also when the body dies, also the body starts disintegrating to the small particles until you get to the atom we cannot see. So in this way, time is influencing everything. And as it's mentioned here, so truth is the smallest atom we can calculate. And according to Burijan Prabhu, so truth is 8 over 13,500 seconds. 8 over 13,500 seconds. When you divide it, that is what we get truth. 8 over 13,500 seconds. That is truth. The smallest time that we can perceive. Then we have one Veda. The Prabhu was explaining. So one Veda is equal to 8 over 135 seconds. 8 over 135 seconds. When you divide it, we give you the seconds. Then we have one lava, which is 8 over 45 seconds. 8 over 45 seconds. That is one lava. Then we have one Nimesha. And one Nimesha, like one this popular verse we always hear. It is Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shitriyoy. Lava Matra. When you hear Lava Matra is mentioned here. What is lava? I just mentioned it. What is lava?
Lava is 3 Veda.
I know it's 3 Veda, what is the number?
The number, that's 8 over 45 seconds.
Thank you. So in this quotation, it is saying Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shitriyoy. It says Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha. It says Sarva Shitriyoy. So it says Lava Matra. Even when you get the association of a sadhu, when you get the association of a sadhu for Lava Matra, can you imagine? Lava Matra, what is Lava Matra? 8 over 45 seconds. It's not even up to a second. So when you get a association of Lava Matra means time. When you get an association of a sadhu for Lava Matra, which is not up to a second, one is liberated, one attains perfection of life. Do you understand what it means now when they say Lava Matra? That is what it means. 8 over 45 seconds. It's not even up to a second.
It's very interesting.
So like that.
It's very good.
So then after we have lava, then we have Limesha. What is Limesha? What is the Limesha calculation?
It's 3 lava.
3 lava, yes. According to the number I call, what is Limesha?
Okay.
8 over 15.
8 over 15.
15, yeah.
And Limesha is not up to 1 second. When you divide Limesha is 8 over 15. It will give you 8 over 15 will give you 0.5 seconds.
Very small.
And that Limesha is what it takes long. That is this calculation we are doing now is to bring us towards that end. So that Limesha is 0.5 seconds is what takes Lord Vishnu to breathe out. And the breathing out of Lord Vishnu is all this time of Lord Brahma we are calculating 311 trillion years. Limesha.
According to his own calculation.
Prabhu said?
I said according to his Vishnu calculation. I'm asking you, is it according to his own calculation? Because it's a very short period of time.
That is what I'm telling you. In the whatever is take Solar Brahma to live for 100 years, that is what it take. The Nimesha is what it take Lord Vishnu to breathe out. It doesn't take 1 second to breathe out now. I'm breathing. It doesn't take 1 second, no. So for the whole life of Lord Brahma is just Nimesha in the eyes of Lord Vishnu. And that is what the whole universe is living for. Just a breathe out, the whole universe is existing. He's taking it in, everything enters back into him again. So then after that, after Nimesha, we have one Shana. Babu have treated that. So that one Shana is equal to 8/5 seconds. I think you stop where? You stop at Lagu. So we are going to stop at Lagu also. Okay, Danda, you reached Danda. So one Shana is 8/5 seconds. Then we have one Kashta is 8 seconds. That one we can relate with. One Kashta is 8 seconds.
Yeah.
Then we have one Lagu, which is 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Then we have one Danda, 30 minutes. Then we have one Prahara, 3 hours. Then after Praharas, we have 1 day, 12 hours. Then we have one Paksha, 15 days. So, Jyotisha Prabhu, it's your turn. Any question?
No question, Prabhuji.
Yeah, please. So, go ahead, Jyotisha Prabhu, we are listening to you.
Hare Krishna.
Chitraputa Prabhu is smiling because he has enjoyed the time. Very good. Yes.
It's
Om
not
Namo
easy.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So we are starting from text number 9, Canto 3, Chapter 11. As we can see already, Prabhuji has explained about the time, the duration. Hello.
Yeah, we are hearing you.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are with you.
Yeah. Okay. So since this text also is relating to the previous one, here it has mentioned about the danda or the nadika. Actually, as we have seen, I will just like to go again on it. One atom is called Parmanu, and when 2 Parmanu mix together is a 2 atom and is called Anu. Then the 2 atom, 3 when we multiply by 3 times, it gives 6, which is 1 hexaatom, which is Trishrenu. And 3 Trishrenu is 1 Truti. 1 Truti is 8/13,500. And then 1 Veda. 1 Veda is 8 divided by 135, which is 100 Trutis. And then Lava, and then Lava. Lava is 8/45, which is 3 Veda. As Prabhuji mentioned, we can also relate this Lava from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, 22:54. Sadhu Sangha Sarva Shastra Ke. Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhi Hoye. Prabhuji has already explained that just love matra of sadhu sangha, if we get love matra is 0.11 second. Even if we get in connection with the sadhu for this minimum of time, very little time, we can get all the siddhis. I mean, we can elevate ourselves easily. Then Prabhuji mentioned about one nimesha. One nimesha is like 8/15, which is 3 lava. Like nimish matra. Nimish matra, like when we are blinking eyes, that time is nimish. So when we want to see practically, actually Prabhuji has mentioned Vishnu when he breathed. Actually, we cannot even imagine how is possible when he breathe out the universe is forms. But we can connect it with our eyes blinking. The time when we blink our eyes is nimesha. And like second example we can relate is like rose petal. If the rose petal, if we are putting a needle inside, that time is a nimish. So it just like when we are inserting a needle inside a rose petal, that is a nimish time, is very little time. Then Prabhuji explained kshana. One kshana is 8/5. Then one kashta is 8 seconds. Then one laghu is 2 minutes. Then one danda is 30 minutes. So here one danda. Actually, I have one video, Prabhuji, but at moment is not available. I'm just trying to see before I end my topic. If I can get that video, I will like to share.
Okay.
It's about the danda, like how the danda actually, when we get a presentation live, then we can remember for a long time. Maybe when I speak, we will forget. So there was an example. There was a temple in India. There is a clock, which even is 1,500 old year clock. Actually, danda, it has translated here. The measure of pot of one nadika or danda can be prepared with 6 pala weight, that is 14 ounce. So there is in this chapter we can see more calculations and practical knowledge, so that we understand about kala, time. Practically saying 6 pala. One pala is 64 gram, which is 65 mass. We can say 64 grams and 64 mass. So it is saying 6 pala. 6 pala means 6 multiplied by 64, which is 384 grams. So when we take 384 grams of pot, which is made of copper, and if we insert a hole inside with a gold probe, weighing of mass, one mass is equal to 1 tola, is 1 gram. So when we put 4 gram of gold, and when is a size of measuring a finger, like let's say 4 inches, and we make a hole inside that bowl, then that bowl, when we put it inside the water, it will take around 30 minutes to fill that bowl. So that is the time of danda. So actually in India, there is a temple. They even today also they measure a time with that pot, and from Mangala Arti to Shayan Arti up to night, they use that bowl to measure, and they do all activities in a temple with that time.
Wow.
Yes. Prabhuji, I have a phone, so I would like to show you a video, but let me see if I can download.
Okay.
Just a minute, Prabhuji.
No problem. You have 15 minutes for yourself.
Yeah.
Which 5 minutes already gone?
Yeah. So let me go over, Prabhuji, so that maybe when video is downloaded, then I will just share.
Yes.
Then the Prabhupada in the 10, Prabhupada is explaining, it is calculated that there is 4 praharas, which are also called yamas. In a day, and 4 in a night. There are 4 praharas, and each prahara is 3 hours. So when we calculate 3 hours times 4, we get 12 hours.
Yes.
Yes. So in Hindi language, we normally call dopahar. Dopahar means afternoon. Dopahar means two prahara. That is our daily life. We say it, but we don't know exactly what does it mean. We say dopahar, but we don't know dopahar means 2 prahara. So that is afternoon time. Yes. Then next verse, the aggregate of 2 fortnights is 1 month, and that period is 1 complete day and night of Pitta planets. 2 of such months comprise 1 season, and 6 months comprise 1 complete movement of sun from south to north. So, Prabhuji, like 1 month, earthly planet, our 1 month, which is day and night, which is in Pitta planet, which is said Pitrulok, which is just like 1 day in a Pitta planet. So the time always a difference. In our earthly planet, when we see 1 month, day and night going on, and in Pitta planet is just 1 day. Then the next verse says 2 solar movements make 1 day and night of the demigod, and that combination of day and night is 1 complete calendar year for the human being. The human being has duration of life 100 years. So here it says that 1 year is equal to 1 day and night of calendar year of human being. When we say full year is just one day of demigods. So when we are saying we live 100 years, that means demigod is just a little, like very, very, very small time in a Devaloka. So human life is reducing because in Kali Yuga, and even we can see is not even up to 100 years. COVID we have seen even less than 50 years. People they are dying. So the lifespan is very, very short. Then the next verse says, in a Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the sun is the eye of the Supreme, and it rotates in its particular orbit of time. Similarly, beginning from the sun down to atom, all bodies are under the influence of Kala Chakra, or orbit of eternal time, and each them has a scheduled orbit time of 1 samvatsara. So it is explained here that all planet, including sun, moon, stars, every planet, there is an influence of time, and we cannot change the time. Here, even on the earth, there is an influence of time. We are all under the influence of time. We cannot change time. There is a 24-hour in a day, so we cannot change it to 25 hours. We don't have control over the time or kala. But it has said that devotional activities and the pure devotees does not fall under this kala chakra. Sometimes we can see that even some yogi, they can even decide when to die. So what we can say about devotees, surely, actually, devotees, a pure devotee of the Lord, they can decide when they wanted to leave this planet or when they don't wanted to leave the planet. We have seen many sannyasis, they decide when they wanted to leave the planet. So the Kal is representative of Krishna. So we have Kal also pay obeisances to pure devotees, even though Kal controls everything.
It can start rounding off.
Yes, Prabhuji. So the next verse says, there is a 5 different name of orbit: sun, moon, star, illuminate in the firmament, and they each have their own samvatsara. So samvatsara is also a time. Sun related with a time. Everything work possible because of sun and moon. We should do all work by keeping Krishna in a center. I mean, we can keep Krishna in a center and we can do all our activities. In the last verse 16, Vidura said, I now understand the life duration of a residence of a Pitta planet and heavenly planet, as well as that of human being. Now kindly inform me the duration of life of those greatly learned living entities who are beyond the range of a kalpa. So Vidura asking here, so actually Vidur is asking is not that Vidur wanted to learn something. Vidur, he knows, but he is asking question here so that we can learn, we can understand Lord. And the higher planets like Bhuvarlok, Bhuvarlok, Swarglok, Maharlok, Janalok, Tapalok and Satyalok. In all these loka, annihilation does not happen. Like normally annihilation happen in a 3 part. Like we are dying every day. That is like mrityu is also annihilation, is a partly annihilation, but is the higherly planet is not affected by this annihilation. Then the second annihilation, Brahma's one day. When Brahma's one day happens, then a partial annihilation happens. That also does not take effect in the higher planets. But Brahma is 100 years. When Brahma 100 years finished, that time final annihilation happened. That time even higherly planet also annihilate. And they don't have to go through this Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, but they just go.
Very much, Prabhu.
Yes. Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Have you concluded?
Yes, Prabhuji. I will like to show that video if is permitted.
Okay.
The time is short, or Prabhuji, maybe we can take it later on when the class ends, because there are
no problem. I will just say something and I will allow you to share it.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Because if it's part of what you want to use to corroborate your points, then we will all learn from it. So,
okay,
so like I was saying, the very nice presentation. Thank you very much, and you bring it to our practical understanding, which we can relate with. And just like you mentioned, how devotees they are able to transcend time. We can see in the case of Sridhar Swami Maharaj, when he wanted to leave the planet, he desired to stay till after the installation of Panchatattva. And immediately after the installation of Panchatattva, Maharaj left the planet. You see, that is to show how devotees can control time. You can see the situation of Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. No ordinary human being that can face what Maharaj has faced and still remain on the planet after many years.
Yes, Prabhuji. I even wanted to mention Maharaj's name.
You understand?
It is impossible.
It's impossible. Medically impossible. Even the devotees who are very expert practitioners of this medical science, they could not understand. They know that this is only Krishna. And Maharaj's desire is to stay till after the Vedic planetarium. Can you imagine?
Yes. I was just about to say, Prabhuji.
You understand? So devotee controls time. That is how devotee, is beyond time, because because they're serving the master of time, Krishna. So this is very wonderful. I just want to buttress those points to add to what Prabhu have said. Thank you very much, Jyotishwar Prabhu, for your. So please show us that videos, show us that, so that we can learn from it. You are muted. You are muted. We are not hearing you.
Yeah, sorry, Prabhuji. Yeah, I will play video from another phone. I hope it will be visible and audible. Yeah, Prabhuji, I'm
let's
playing.
see. Let's see.
Just a minute, Prabhuji.
Are you on your computer?
No, Prabhuji, I am in the phone.
Oh,
it's very difficult.
It.
Yes, Prabhuji. Sorry very much. I'm really sorry.
Share the link with Prabhu. Let him share.
Okay. Then let me share.
Copy the link and put it in the chat room.
Yes. Prabhuji, let me do that. I will do that.
Share the link with him so that he can share with us. Thank you.
Yeah.
So
thank you,
now we take why that is going on. Let's Shitra Putra Prabhu. It's your time to dance. Please take the stage.
Can we ask a question?
Yeah, Prabhu, please go ahead.
Just a question briefly. When they said human life is 100 years.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, I mean, people in the Satya, Yoga, Treta, and Dwapara, they live longer than 100 years.
Yes, Prabhu.
So
that was their own 100
years is for Kali Yuga.
Okay.
No. Everybody live for 100 years.
Okay.
Even when they live for 10,000 years, it's just because of the duration of the age.
Okay.
If Lord Brahma who have 311 trillion years is living for 100 years, then what are you talking about?
Okay.
So everybody have 100 years. Even ants have 100 years.
And
but it's
also 100 years.
30 seconds, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So it depends on which age you are living in, will determine how your 100 years will be.
Okay.
So it's thank you very much. It's relativity of time. Yes.
Okay.
Lord Brahma is living for 100 years, no more. But his 100 years is 311 trillion years. Yes, Shitra Prabhu, please go ahead. Unmute yourself, please. Unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please go ahead.
Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate. Hare Krishna. So please, my presentation starts from
17.
Test 17. And I think my own is the most difficult part, the toughest part.
It's very technical. Very good.
And I don't know why Prabhu gave me this part.
Oh, maybe so Krishna wants you.
I just accepted that.
Krishna wants you to crack the code. Once you crack the code, it belongs to you.
I see. So the first test, which is test 17, says that one cannot the Supreme Lord time is. It talks about time as we are all still discussing, and the basis have already been given by Madhavan Prabhu and Jyotishwar Prabhu. And the first, text 17 says, the Supreme Lord controls everything by time. He controls everything. And therefore, everything by time. He controls everything by time. So in other words, all of us, it means that all of us, the living entities, we are all conditioned by time. Therefore, we can be determined. Our success can be determined by our conditioning time. Either we become failure or successful. It is all go by time. And Krishna always says, time I am, Kalo Asmi. I'm the beginning, the middle, and the end. So he is the creator and the maintainer and the destroyer of everything. So by this understanding, we can see that we are all usually conditioned by time, and because of that, as we are doing this this study, we are limited by particular hours of time, and after then we go to another program of our day. So if we are not able to achieve the goal of one particular duty of our time, we lament, because all this affects us, our different activities from day to day affects us throughout our lifetime. So time is the greatest condition, the greatest thing which conditions the living entity. So we should understand that, yes, that is our greatest condition, that if we are not able to meet our, we become failures. So that is another thing. When we go to test 18, Maitreya now answers Vidura about the millennium of time, and Vidura has already glorified Maitreya as being a self-realized soul, and in this aspect, he glorified Maitreya as to his power and ability to be able to see in time, and such a self-realized soul as Maitreya is called a Trikala Jnan, because he's able to see the past, the present, and in the future. Therefore, Vidura wanted the great sage Maitreya, because of his ability to be able to explain time and other things, be able to explain things which has passed as per the creation and its maintenance and dissolution. So, and in that purpose, the Prabhupada again makes us understand that many yogis make endeavors to be able to achieve this mystical power, to achieve this mystical power or yoga siddhi. But by the mercy or by the grace or by the help of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is seated in the hearts of devotees, a devotee does not need to mechanically or to put much effort to be able to achieve this mystical power. Just by the will of the Lord, just by the desire of the devotee, the Lord fulfills that and makes him realize, makes him see that aspect of whatever he wants to do. It is revealed. And we can see practical example from our pure devotees. Whatever they say that, okay, do this in the course of time, do this. If you don't do it, you see that things will go against you, and they can predict us what is going to even happen. As a practical example, just our teacher Prabhu was saying that His Holiness Raja Pataka Maharaj, he has set the time and the will and the time he wants to leave his body, and His Holiness Rabati Tita Swami Maharaj, the time that he was going to leave his body, he told devotees and they prepared. We have seen such like that. And it's not that. There are instances where whatever that is going to happen, our gurus are able to foretell the future, what is going to happen. A practical example is Krishna Dwapayana Vyasadeva. When this whole Bhagavatam came written because of him, by his ability to see the
Prabhu, you are not doing the calculation for us, so
Prabhu, I'm coming to that. I will come to that side. So we have to understand.
Please.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go to the calculation side.
Thank you.
So the calculation side, when we come to the duration of the time durations of mankind and the demigod, as the Prabhupada has already explained, it is said that 4 millenniums, which comprises of the Satya Yoga, the Tetra Yoga, the Treta Yoga, Dwapara Yoga, and Kali Yoga make 1 4 millennium. And each 4 millennium is 360 years. 1 year comprises 1 year, 360 years of one of our millennium comprises is equal to 1 year of the demigods. 360 years of our millennium, of one of our millenniums, or let me say a part of our millennium, 1 millennium. That is, let's take 360 years of Satya Yoga is 1 year of the demigods. And Satya Yoga is 4,800 of the demigods, and Treta Yoga is 3,600 of the demigods. So the life duration of the Satya Yoga, that is 4,800 by 360 of our time, is the whole duration of Satya Yoga. And that one you get 1,728,000 years. That is the whole of Satya Yoga. Then Tetra Yoga is 3,600 by 360. You get, when you multiply that one together, you get 1,296,000. That is the whole duration of Treta Yoga. Then Dwapara Yoga is also 2,400 by 360. When you multiply that, you get 864,000. Then Kali Yoga is 1,200 by 360. And when you multiply that, you get 432,000. And that is the whole duration of Kali Yoga. And out of that duration, just 360 of the whole duration makes 1 year. 360 of our time, of that 1 millennium, of that millennium on our planet, makes 1 year of the demigods. That is what Prabhupada wants us to understand. And in this whole, within this whole time, in the Satya Yoga, all of them comprises I'm coming.
No problem. You have 5 minutes more, Prabhu.
Together, all of this one put together makes 1 day of Lord Brahma. All of these yogas put together makes 1 day of Lord Brahma. So when you add 1,728,000 plus 1,296,000 plus 864,000 plus 432,000 makes 1 day of Lord Brahma. When you add all of them together, it is 4,320,000. So this is one day of Lord Brahma, and it is the same as 1 night of Lord Brahma. So the 4,320,000 is 1 day, and the same as 4,320,000 is 1,000 is the same as 1 night. And in this one night, when 1 night comes, that means the 4 yogas have come to the four yogas have come to an end. In other words, all the three worlds, that is Satya, that is Vaga, Vaga, Matsya, therefore, a new day of Brahma, then there's the beginning of the 3 worlds again. The 3 worlds, that means there's.
So you are saying that in every day of Lord, end of the day of Lord Brahma, there is partial annihilation.
Yes. There's a partial annihilation. Thank you. And in this, once a new the three worlds begin again is created, then there's a Manu who comes to take over. There's a time of every Manu, one Manu who comes within the cycle of these days of Lord Brahma, of which the yogi, the local, the upper and the middle and lower planets are created. So one Manu, there are 4 Manus, there are 14 Manus who takes charge of all these consecutive creations. So when one Manu, when one yoga or one creation comes to an end, that will be a time where one Manu also, his lifetime has expired, comes to an end or expires. Then another Manu comes to take over to in charge, rule over things or over things, and make sure things go as it is. So one Manu's time also comprises of 71 sets, 71 sets of 4 yogas. And that 4 yoga is what we said earlier and said that is 404,320,000 years. So it is said that one man does not live more than that. It doesn't live more than that. So one Manu lasts, the lifetime of one Manu is 4,320,000 years. So this 4 million.
You can start rounding up, Prabhu.
Okay, come again, please. Okay,
you can start rounding up. Yeah.
Okay, so this 4,320,000 multiplied by 14. Multiplied by 14 is the whole sum total of the 14 Manus and the lives of the 14 Manus. And this is when the whole universe comes to an end. And this is when the whole creations and other things come to an end. So please, this is from 17 to 25 is the sum or the detail of what every test comprises. Hare Krishna, thank you.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. You try. It's not easy. Calculations of people are not calculation friendly.
Yes.
Calculation is not very easy. Yeah. Before we ask whether there's any question, so what we understand from here is that like all these calculations that Prabhupada made in this part of this thing, we know where we get 432,000 years of the Kali Yoga based on this calculation. And when we have this, the 4 yogas together, it is mentioned in text 22. Outside of the 3 planets and whatever, it is mentioned that the 4 yoga multiplied by 1,000 comprises of 1 day of Lord Brahma. That is the complete, all this calculation we have made now, Satya Yoga, 1,728,000, Tetra Yoga, 1,296,000, Dwapara Yoga, 864,000, sorry, and Kali Yoga, 432,000. This is a complete millennium. So the 4 millennium, that is the 4 yoga, multiplied by 1,000. Yeah, it's 1 day of Lord Brahma, like you are explaining. Yeah. That is 1 day of Lord Brahma. And at the end, see, this 1 day of Lord Brahma is 12 hours. Means that after that 12 hours, he wants to go to sleep. Isn't it?
Yes.
Because 24 hours is a day now. So after the 12 hours, he wants to sleep. When he goes to sleep, there's partial annihilation, like you say. And when he wakes up in the morning, there's the creation again, start again. Means that when you go to sleep at night for another 12 hours, nothing is happening. And Brahma's day and night. Because at night, nothing is happening now. When we sleep, anything is happening? No. So when he wakes up, creation starts again. So, and within that 1 day of Lord Brahma, there are 14 Manus, isn't it?
Yes.
That's what he's explaining. There are 14 Manus. And each Manu lives for how many? For how long? 852,000 years.
Yes.
And at the end of the day of each Manu, means that they themselves, they have their day and night in Lord Brahma's day.
Yes.
So at the end of their own day also, what happens? There is a partial annihilation.
Yes.
So whenever the higher beings who are managing us go to sleep, means whenever the manager go to sleep, his office will be closed.
Close office, close shop.
We close office, we close shop, and everything will be in that for that period of time. Are we getting the calculation?
Yes.
Yeah. So when we read about Noah, it's not a surprise to us. So let's say when the Lord wiped the universe with rain, during the time of the flood, that was the only encounter given in the Bible. That was the only encounter. It may be one, maybe at the end of one of the Lord Brahma of one of the Manu's end of the day. And there are many that are going to happen like that, because this thing they are calculating is not within our 100 years. So we will not witness many of them. I don't know if you are getting the point. We are not going to witness many of them because we only have 100 years to live. And after our 100 years, their own duration of a day is 865,000 years. So it means that if you are fortunate that you are within one of that 855,000 years of the end of that day, there will be a partial annihilation. It's not that God is angry, then he annihilates everything. No. When the man is going to sleep, there will be partial annihilation. So those who happen to be in existence at that time, they will experience that partial annihilation.
Yes.
Are we getting the point?
Yes.
So that is how the universe is operating. So the next person is Salika Babu is here. No, Rasaba Babu is here. What's disappear? His network. Okay, Babu, show us the video. Where is Babu? Oh no. Let me write him. Babuji is not online, so Rasava Praboso is not here. So we are going to go through this from 26 to which number? 26 to...
Is it 26, 25 to 33?
Sorry, 26 to 34.
26
to 34. So we're going to go through it together. Okay? So here it is mentioned that in the creation during Brahma's day, the three planetary systems, Swarga, Martya, and Patala. So when we talk about Swarga, we know what it means now. Sometimes when they talk about Swarga, they put all the higher planets together. Means when you're talking about the heavenly planet, it's not only the planet of Indra. Above the planet of Indra, we have Mahaloka, we have Jana Loka, we have Tapo Loka, we have Satya Loka also. So when they're talking about these three planets, when they mention all these three planetary systems, they already put all of them together. So it is mentioned here is that the three planetary systems, Swarga, Martya, and Patala, revolve, and the inhabitants including the lower animal, human being, demigods, and Peter, appear and disappear in terms of their fruitive activities. So what this verse is saying is that, like I said before, whenever there is a hand of one Manu, which 14 of them is living in Lord Brahma's day, there will be a partial annihilation. So the living entity, they are appearing and disappearing during this period according to their activities. Yeah, Josisha Prabhu, want to say something? Want to ask a question?
Yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Chitraketu Prabhu mentioned something, one like 71 something.
Yes.
So actually, I know there is a Manvantar also. So can you please tell me about something about Manvantar? What is Manvantar is?
Manvantara Mana, like he said, if you go to verse 25, he said, after, he said, 1 minute. After the dissolution of each and every Manu, the next Manu, along with his descendants, who rule over the different planets. But the 7 famous sages and demigods like Indra and their followers, such as Gandharva, all appear simultaneously with the Manu. There are 14 Manu in one day of Brahma, and each of them has different descendants. So when we talk about Manvantara, just like we talk about Brahma Day, so the cycle of a Manu is Manvantara. I'm not going into detail about that now because in Canto 5, we are going to dive into that. There is this detailed explanation when they started talking about the cosmic configuration. You know, it's a very technical thing that you cannot just speculate about until when you go into the study in details. In Canto 5, rest assured, we are going to study that in details. When they're talking about the movement of the universe and how it's influenced by the Manus also. But the only thing we can understand here is that there are 14 Manus in one day of Brahma. And when there is, at the end of each Manu, like he said here, the Manu have his own Indra. He has all the major sages who bring forth creation. So they work in group like that. That is why it's mentioned that after this, our Indra we have now is going to be Bali Maharaj, who will become the Indra. He has earned that in the past time. So like that. So a great personality becoming. So that's why it is mentioned that all these positions can be attained by any of the living entity, depending on your pious activities. So there's change of Manu at every Manvantara. And at the end of each Manvantara, there's a partial annihilation. Like I said before, one Manu live for 852,000 years. How many of us here will remain for 852,000 years? How many of us will remain? Who is the Shiranjivan here? Shitra Prabhu, are you a Shiranjivan?
No.
You know, so only a Shiranjivan can live to see all these things. Any average living entity will leave his body when it's 100 years. And we are talking for one man who will live for 852,000 years. So nobody will witness this partial annihilation. So Manvantara means we're just like now in Nigeria, there is election. So when the election is over now, when they already announced the president-elect, they are going to announce they are going to do the governorship. So when the president is coming, he comes with his prime minister, he comes with his ministers, he comes with the governor. So there will be a change of government. So our own calculation is every 4 years we do change of government. But in the universal change of government, it's 852,000 years. There's a change of Manus. I don't know. I'm able to, do something in your question.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, I understood.
Yes. So, but there's detailed explanation when we come to Canto 5. It's very,
okay,
very technical.
Yes, yeah, very technical.
Rasavan Prabhu, we have been waiting for you since yesterday. Please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, please go ahead. We have been waiting for you.
Namo Vishpada Krishna Pristaya Bhatale Shmati Bhakti Prasad. Namaste Krishna Pristaya Bhatale Shmati Shri Guru Namo Vishpada Krishna Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yes, thank you very much, my great ones. My assignment covers text 26 to 34.
So, Babu, you are going to stop by 10 o'clock, Nigeria time, 9 o'clock, Ghana time.
Okay. So, my presentation covers practically the day and night of Lord Brahma's existence. During the daytime, practically of Lord Brahma, one day of Lord Brahma, the three planetary systems, Bhuva, Swaha, comes into existence. And at the night of Lord Brahma, they are dissolved. And this covers the process of dissolution. When within 1 day of Brahma, as it is said by the previous speakers, there are 14 manus which come to rule over activities in the universe. But it is said in text 27, it is said that the Lord himself incarnates himself by his internal potency into manus and other living entities just to maintain the universe. Then in the night of Lord Brahma, the time factor causes the dissolution of the Bhuva Swaha or the Patala Matsya and Swaga portion of the universe. And during this night, there is a fire that emanates from the mouth of Lord Sankashan, which represents Rudra, that dissolves all these three planetary systems. And when this fire is so much blazing, the inhabitants of the Mahaloka, they feel so much the heat that led by the great sage Brugumoni, they transferred themselves to Janaloka. And the blazing covers all the three worlds to the extent that it brings everything to silence. And during the blazing time, this blazing takes place within 36,000 years. And then after the 36,000 years of the blazing, there is a torrential rain with a hurricane winds that also takes place for 36,000 years. After the blazing, everything becomes silent. And then after this silence, this torrential rains, and then the hurricane winds blow so heavily that everything becomes practically water. And the Lord lies on this whole water. But the wonderful aspect of it is that it is said that the human beings during the dissolution goes into a state of like when everything is dissolved, every living entity is dissolved, and there's only water. Then at the next day of Lord Brahma, they are ushered into creation. But the wonderful aspect is that they forget about this passage to the extent that when they come back into being, they still want to pursue their material progress to the extent that They forget completely about
Prabhu.
Yeah.
Sorry, 1 minute. Kamalash Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Kamalash Prabhu there? Prabhu says he's not feeling fine, so we should send our prayer to him. So, Prabhu, I hope he's not serious. Kamalash Prabhu, are you there? Okay, Prabhu, please go ahead. I was thinking, Prabhu, I want us to pray, greet him. Yes.
So like I was saying, the blazing fire from the mouth of Lord Sankashan lasts for 100 years of the demigods, which is 36,000 years of we the humans. And after that blazing, in which all the three planetary systems, Bhuva, Swaha, are dissolved, everything comes to silence. Then after that silence, there is a torrential rain and a hurricane wind that blows very heavily. So everything becomes water. And the Lord lies on that water on Ananta Shesha. And all the great sages from Jana Loka, led by Brugumuni, they offer their respective obeisances in glorious prayers to the Lord. And the Lord, while lying on that water, his eyes are closed in the Nidra Yoga. But the Nidra Yoga of the Lord is explained by Srila Prabhupada that is different from our sleep. That in the Nidra Yoga sleep of the Lord, which is also a manifestation of his internal potency, so everything is transcendental. And in the transcendental stage, all activities are always present and they are glorified by the great sages. So the Lord's sleep is totally different from our sleep, where we sleep and forget everything. The Lord sleeps and yet activities are still being carried out. And it is also said that during the night of Brahma, the sun and the moon, their glare disappear from the three worlds that are dissolved. But that doesn't mean that they no more exist. But they exist in the higher world of Jana Loka. So it's like the nighttime in our place here, where we don't see the sun and we neither see the glow of the moon. But during that time, in other places of the world, the sun is visible. So this is what goes on for 36,000 years of our human calculation. There is this dissolution that is the night of Brahma, and 36,000 years. Sorry, the 36,000 years. There is the fire that emanates from the mouth of Lord Sakashan, that is Rudra, that dissolved the planetary system. And then after the silence, there's another 36,000 years where there is heavy rain and hurricane winds that blow, and the Lord lies down on that waters. So all making the 72,000 years of our calculation, in which these occurrences take place.
Want us to ask question? Are you done, Prabhu?
Yes. I think I'm done.
Okay. Because it's a very technical aspect. Nobody can fully explain it completely. But in summary, what we are reading here is because
Krishna Prabhu.
Dandava Pranam, all glories to God, all glories to Guru Dev, all glories to you. Patra Pomoe.
Yeah. Who
Who is speaking in tongue? So,
Prabhu.
Okay, yes, I've muted him. He's speaking in tongue. If you don't understand the language you don't understand, is you consider it to be speaking in tongue. So, the total summary, the Lord here in the Srimad Bhagavatam, this explanation of creation, maintenance, and dissolution. So we have finished hearing about how Brahma creates. Here now, we are getting to understand about how the Lord maintains his universe using the Manvataras. Because it's at the different time of the Manvataras also, the Lord incarnates as in the form of Lord Vishnu also for this maintenance. So what happened is that, so we have heard a little about the dissolution and how the dissolution, partial annihilation takes place. Many of us are not going to witness this because we only have 100 years to live. And this thing takes place after 865,000 years. And for 732,000, for 732,000, sorry, 360 plus 3, that is 72,000 years, there's annihilation. Nothing is happening, everything is silent. And after that, so it means, you see now, that is why when we see in the beginning, it looked as if there was the universe is in primitive mode. Now we are developing everything. So after 856,000 years again, everything will be put to the ground again. So those who will come after that time also, they think that they are just coming and they are trying to develop. So this is what is going on in the universe. It's coming again and again, it's going and coming again and again.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
But the climate change we're experiencing now, is it what does it indicate? Is it indicating that the effect, the annihilation is coming?
No, the thing is here is that we don't know when the annihilation is going to come because we are not astronomers or astrologers who know, who are very particular about this calculation. They go deep into it to know when and what is the duration of the time now for next thing to happen. You know, those people, that is their work. They are very experts. They do all this calculation. We are not into that. But the thing that is here is that eventually, whatever technological advancement we have now, when this annihilation comes, everything will be leveled to the ground. Then after that, the annihilation, when there is another new Manvantara, then they will begin, the living entity will come back again, and they will begin of the life cycle again will start from the yogis. Then we have the different yogas coming again and again.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah. So, any other question?
Yes.
Yes, before then.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, one focal point I forgot to mention.
Please mention it, Prabhu. We
yes,
need it.
Is that it is said that the fear of death threatens every living entity, from the ants even to Lord Brahma. But Lord Brahma, being so very intelligent, he knows he has taken the way to overcome or override that fear of death by the process of devotional service, totally devoting himself to the service of the Supreme Lord. So in a nutshell, every intelligent living entity who wants to overcome death, as you explained by our great teacher and Jyoti Swarup and other speakers before me, the only way out to overcome death is to serve the Lord. So this is the point I want to make.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Yes, and what many of us we have experienced it also. We have a particular experience that when we are intensely involved in devotional service, we think less about death. We don't care about death. Every devotee who have sincerely served, who is absorbed in their devotional service, you don't care about death. Because you know that you are rightly situated. It's only when we are committing sinful activity we are scared of death.
Yeah.
But when we are rightfully situated, we don't care about death.
Yes.
So it's very important. What Prabhupada just mentioned now is very, very important. So all these things that we are reading and the calculation we are doing is to make us to understand how this material universe is temporary and everything is under the control of the Supreme Lord. How the Lord has created it, how he's maintaining it, and how he's going to destroy everything at the end. And for us to be able to be serious in our devotional service so that we also, like is mentioned in one of the purports that Shitra Prabhu read about the Trikalaya Gyan. Because these devotees, the yogis, they have transcended time, they can see. Because the only reason they can see is because they are transcended time. So they can see past, they can see future. Because everything is one in the universe, in the universal creation. Everything is one. Everything is the same again and again. It's just like this Srimad Bhagavatam, when it will come again, it will still come in this format. But now, maybe the Raya Kashibu, maybe the one we read in this age now, he was fighting in heaven. Maybe the Raya Kashibu that will come will be fighting on earth. So, but the pastime will still be the same. And that is why you see sometimes there's a little bit controversy in the Srimad Bhagavatam story. And our great acharyas, commentator will say, this happened in this so time of this Manu, and this happened in this so time of another Manu. So because of these different things happening in different timing, so it looks as if the pastor narrated at this time is different from this narrated at that time. Because they can be able to put all these things together. They understand, because they are beyond time. So let's continue. Now we have His Great Ramakrishna Prabhu to finally take the grant and take us to the highest level. Ramakrishna Prabhu, it's your turn.
Take us to the higher planet.
Prabhu is there? The teacher Prabhu is there?
No, I said take us to the higher planet. Let us see how it is.
Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Oh, my Natmara, it is a man of the Sansa, you talents fire park, my Dasa party. Why did you talk on to Rubana, Rajat, Iguna, Tanta Sadwam, Sadwitan, Badutan, Parigina, Sahitan, Krichi, Tandiram, Irad Krishnaram, Sagana Lalita, Shivisi, Kavitamcha. One chakapata via sacrifice in the Bia Chapatita Nampavani view, Ashna the view. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes. To conclude all the philosophies in the Brahma, sleeping, waking, and those all things. Conclusion. What I read here, and the conclusion is all creation is temporal. Time control the material world, but time didn't control Lord Krishna. He read here, he said, time is never lost along with the Brahmans, continuous, but it has no ability to control the supreme personality of Godhead. Time doesn't control Krishna. Krishna matters this one. He made it for us that we may understand. He is the Govinda. Without him, nothing can go on. And without him, we cannot sustain. So conclude here, Krishna wants us to know that he is supreme. And do all this devotional service is our goal. By devotional service, we may understand the supreme time. That you can't control time. It's inevitable. Only Krishna control all this. That is all the conclusion of the whole canto 11.
Chapter 11, chapter 11. Hare Krishna, Babu.
Chapter 11.
Thank you for making it short for us, and it's nectarian. Thank you. I said so. Just to add to what Prabhu have said, let's all go to text number 38. It's very important there. 38. Are we there?
Yes.
Let me open that. Let me open it. Prabhu want to share, or I can share? Prabhu want to share?
Yes.
Thank you very much. So this is 38. Let's read. Kaloyam dwa paradatyo nimesha upachayate avyakritasya natasya yanandri jagamatana. So the translation, the duration of the two parts of love of Brahma's life, as above mentioned, is calculated to be equal to 1 nimesha. Who can remind us what is nimesha? Please, quickly, don't look your book. What is nimesha? The calculation of nimesha.
Less than seconds.
Yes, the number. Give us the number. We want the number. Yotisha Prabhu, you want to say something?
8/15.
8/15 seconds. That is 1 nimesha. So here he say the duration of two parts of Brahma's life, as above mentioned, is calculated to be equal to 1 nimesha, not up to than a second, for the Supreme Personality of God. This is the whole conclusion that is coming to place now. Now, Maitreya Rishi has explained this gigantic time, everything. He has explained everything to Vidura. Now he's trying to bring everything to what we can understand. Oh, this is Lord Brahma has this relation of life. This is the calculation of the Satya Yoga, Tetra Yoga, Dwapara Yoga. This multiply that by 1,000 is Lord Brahma's day. The same also equal to Lord Brahma's night. Then when you take that, this calculation, there are 14 manus in Lord Brahma's day, and they live for this also duration of time. Is giving us the bigger picture of time. And Lord Brahma lived for 100 years of such time, which Prabhupada has calculated in some of his purport to be 311 trillion years. The two part of Lord Brahma's life is calculated to be 311 trillion years. But is what in the eyes of Lord Vishnu, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is what?
A second.
Nimesha.
Nimesha.
Yeah, it's nimesha. It's not up to a second. So Maitreya has given the concept description of time, different dimension, beginning from the atom to the duration of Lord Brahma. Now he's telling us, now he attempts to give some idea of time of the unlimited personality of Godhead. So he's giving us, see, when we say eternity, we don't understand what is eternity. If all these large numbers of Lord Brahma's life is less than a second of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, now try to enter into my eternity. Let me see you. You cannot understand. You cannot conceive it. Less than a second, the whole universe is like eternal. It's like eternity to us. The whole universe, cosmic manifestation, is like eternity to us. According to this calculation we have gone through, isn't it?
Yes.
How many of us go to live up to even one man Vatara's life, 856,000 years? How many of us? Nobody. No one. So with all this calculation, Manvatara, Brahman, the demigods, and this, that, is just less than a second in the eyes of the Lord. Now you want to tell me you want to understand eternity. You don't know what is eternity. You don't understand. So that is why we have to understand this time is first. When we understand this time is first, when we are talking about that spiritual world, then you will understand we have to be very humble because we cannot understand at all. Because even the material world we are living, it looks like the calculation of the time here, it looks like eternity. Oh, you can remove the share. It looks like eternity. So for us to be able to comprehend Krishna and his kingdom, we have to be very humble and get the mercy of Guru and Krishna himself. If not, we cannot understand anything at all. Any small thing we want to bring into our small brain and try to understand. How? $311 trillion years is less than a second in the eyes of the Lord. And that person, which is seconds, is a second, 0.5 seconds, is 0.5 seconds, is the entire creation for 311 trillion years. Is that person we want to understand with our minute brains? It doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. It's beyond our understanding. And that is why he has given us this process of devotional service to purify this our brain, to purify our mind, so that we can begin to understand the claims. When Lord Brahma went to Lord Krishna in Dwarka, he was becoming proud. Sometimes we become proud, we become carried away, even though we hear all these philosophies. But sometimes we still forget and become proud. Lord Brahma went to Dwarka. He was very proud. He was thinking that he is all and all. So when Krishna saw this arrogance in him, he told his security man, go and ask him which of the Brahmas. He was thinking, why would Krishna ask such question? Is there any other Brahmas other than me? It's just like now, you are taking a very important position in your parliament, and you go to the president, and the president asks you which of the ministers. So he was disturbed. Like, how can Krishna ask such question? Is there no other Brahmas? So Krishna said, okay, no worry, we will see it. Krishna may make a snap like this. All the other Brahmas came. And because his own universe is the smallest of all, he has only 4, and our universe has only 4 directions, so he has only four heads. But other universes that are bigger than his own, some of them have 10 directions, some have 20 directions, some have thousands of directions. So according to the direction of the universe, they have the numbers of heads. So he has the smallest head. So Krishna made it in such a way that only him can see all the Brahmas. But those Brahmas, they cannot see themselves. They only see Krishna. He became very humble. Chaitanya Charitamrita explains that Lord Brahma became like a rabbit beside an elephant. Are you seeing the comparison? He became like a rabbit beside an elephant. He became very, very humble. So same thing also, all this knowledge we are hearing, this calculation of atom, is to humble us so that we can be able to surrender sincerely to Krishna. That we are insignificant, even in the eternal time, even in the material calculation of time, we are infinitesimal. We are nothing. Our 100 years is like a bubble. You blow up, burst, bam. We are like that. So we are nothing. So we should be very humble and engage in serious devotional service. All this thing is just to bring out, to boil down to all this. Then in the next verse, it says, the eternal time is certainly the controller of the different dimensions, from that of the up to the atom to the superdivision of duration of Brahma's life. But nevertheless, it is controlled by the Supreme Lord. time can control only those who are body conscious, even up to the Satya Loka or the other higher planet of the universe. So here, we are being made to know, to understand that only those people who are bodily conscious that are under the influence of time. And that is why we say devotee, they have transcended time. Because why? They have transcended the bodily consciousness. They don't see themselves as the body. They understand that they are the soul. So those who are anybody, all the living entities who are under the, who are bodily conscious, they are under the control of time. So let me read this last verse. We are concluding it. So this phenomenal material world is expanded to a diameter of 4 billion miles as combination of 8 material elements, transformed into 16 further categories within the and without as follows. The layer of this element covering the universe. Babu said?
Please, Babuji.
Yes.
Please, could you help me understand this phrase here?
Okay.
Of the previous verse. It says, eternal time is certainly the controller of different dimensions.
Yes.
From that of the atom up to the subdivisions of the duration of Brahma's life.
Yes.
But nevertheless, it is controlled by the Supreme.
Yes.
Time can control only those who are body conscious.
Yes.
Even up to the Satya Loka or other higher planets of the universe. That small phrase, even up to Satya Loka or the other higher planets of the universe. Yes. Could you help me understand whether this phrase is related to those in also in body conscious? Because what we knew is that the Satya Loka and those higher planetary systems during the total annihilation, they are totally transferred to the spiritual world.
That is when they become, those who are become perfect in devotional service, they are the ones who are transferred to the spiritual world. Not all. And that is why it is mentioned in this verse also that even up to that planet, those who are still bodily conscious among them will be consumed by time.
Now, wow, Prabhu. Even at that level, they are still bodily conscious.
Some like we hear from the we read from Srimad Bhagavatam, like when you are going to from Canto 6 to Canto 9, you start hearing about the pastime of Agastya Muni and some of these great yogis. You understand? And you will see sometimes that some of them, they still fall under the influence of bodily conscious. Body conscious. You understand? Even though these yogis are great and transcendentalists, some of them still fall under this modes of nature. And a very good example is the story of Ashtavakra Muni, when he was invited in the assembly of yogis. And immediately he entered the assembly, they started laughing at him because it's Ashtavakra. Ashtavakra means he's burned into 8 places. Yes. So they started laughing at him, and he started laughing at them also. And they were surprised that he's laughing. And then he asked them, he said he thought that he's coming to the assembly of great learned scholars, but he was surprised that these people are still bodily conscious. And that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
Even though they are yogis, they are great personality, they are still seeing his body. So, just because...
Abraham Bhuvana Luka.
Thank you very much. Prabhu is buttressing it with that shloka from Bhagavad Gita. Abraham Bhuvana Luka, Punavatino Arjun. Even from the higher planet of Lord Brahma down to the lower planet. You know, there's a place of repeated birth and death. Yes. So that is the point that it's being made in the, although Papa did not give purport to it, so we cannot talk so much about it, but that is what it's meant. That there are people, due to their pious activities or pious credit, they are able to elevate themselves to those higher planets. But if they don't take chance of devotional, they take up devotional service, they cannot escape it. They will come back. Like we talk about Mahaloka. Mahaloka is for pure Grihasthas. This is explained in Bhagavatamrita. There are some Grihasthas who are very pure in devotional service. Those people, they will be able to, not devotional service, they are pure in Dharma. So those people, they will be able to elevate themselves to the platform of Mahaloka. So if they are still attached, they are not free from bodily consciousness, they will come back again. And that is why it is mentioned when we are reading, we will see that it is mentioned that when there is partial annihilation, those higher planets is not annihilated. They are there. So they are watching what is going on down here. Sometimes some of them are selected to come and start the beginning of creation again. So Babu, are you okay? Babu has gone. His network has disturbed. So let's conclude. We have only 10 minutes more. So this phenomenal material world is expanded to a diameter of 4 billion miles as a combination of 8 material elements transformed into 16 further categories within and without as follows. The layer of elements covering the universes are each 10 times thicker than the one before, and all the universes clustered together appear like atoms in a huge combination. This is a very important point here. I will read it again. It said the layers of elements covering the universes, each 10 times thicker than one before, and all the universes clustered together appear like atoms in huge combinations. Do we understand? Let me read the purpose so that we can understand. Prabhupada explaining, he said the covering of the universe are also constituted of the elements of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And each is 10 times thicker than the one before. The first covering of the universe is earth. We have it. It is 10 times thicker than the universe itself. If the universe is 4 billion miles the size, then the size of the earthly covering of the universe is 4 billion times 10. The covering of the water is 10 times greater than the earthly covering. The covering of the fire is 10 times greater than the watery covering. And the covering of air is then 10 times greater than of that fire. The covering of ether is 10 times greater still than the air, and so on. So the universe within the covering of matter appears to be like an atom in comparison to the covering, and the number of the universes is unknown, even those who are estimates the covering of the universes. This is very technical. So what he's saying here is that the covering of the universe, we have all these, the Mahabhutas, earth, water, fire, air, and ether, is what is covering this our material universe. So one is 10 times thicker than the other. And the calculation of the 10 times is because our diameter of our universe is 4 billion. So the earth is 10 times 4 billion thick. The water is 10 times, like you multiply it again by that number you get from that 4 billion multiplication. This is how thick this element that is covering this universe. And that is why it's not easy for any living entity to escape this material universe, except by the mercy of the Lord. Because it's like in a prison house, and we are being guided by all these elements.
The security is too much.
So this is the conclusion. Let's read the last one. Say the supreme personality of God and Sri Krishna is therefore said to be the original cause of all causes. Thus, the spiritual abode of Vishnu is eternal without a doubt. And it's also the abode of Mahavishnu, the origin of all manifestation. This is very wonderful. This is the conclusion of this verse to show that after this calculation of the earthly time, see how the earthly time looks like eternity. For ordinary living entity like me and you, Prabhu, this calculation we have done now is like eternity, isn't it?
Yes.
It's like eternity. But still, Lord Brahma still have his own death also when he's going to die. So surely, Lord Vishnu abode is eternal. If all this calculation is just 1 second, just imagine his own abode. Can we understand what I'm trying to say? This calculation of this his own material calculation that he has, put the time in. If you look, see how the calculation look gigantic, but it's just a second in his eyes. So can we imagine his own abode? It's eternal. So it's a very deep thing. And this thing is for us to build our faith more and more so that we can be able to learn how to surrender to the Supreme Lord, because he is the Supreme Ishwara Parama Krishna Sakchidananda Vigraha. Adi Govinam Sarvakara Nakarana. Yeah, he's the supreme controller of all the different controllers in this world. He's the supreme controller. He's the prime cause of all causes. Not even a blade of grass can move without his sanction. Not possible. So all these things for us to be able to build our faith more and more on this Krishna, the Supreme Lord we are talking about. It's not Indian God. It's the Lord of the universe.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So we'll stop here. Any question, comment? Then we'll continue next week.
So from all these narrations, it looks as a very great ambition for someone to go into the spiritual world.
Yes.
It's like a very, very great ambition. So I think we should all struggle. We should do all things that is necessary. You know, after hearing all these narrations, all these explanations, because it's not something it's inconceivable as far as we are concerned, because considering the fact that even the universe is about 4 billion miles dimension, and then the coverings they're also even greater than the size of the universe. So I see it as a very, very great ambition. We should all of us be ambitious enough to want to enter this kind of kingdom.
Very good, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you for that realization. It's very important. And that is the essence why we are studying Srimad Bhagavatam. That is why Sukadev Goswami narrated Bhagavatam to Parishit Maharaj for this purpose. See how great the person we are going to his abode is. Just see, even the time. See how he's controlled the time. Just see. See how Brahma, the Manus, they are just minute particle in his seconds. Just see. So he's showing all these things to show his greatness, so that we can be able to fully surrender to the Supreme Lord. Thank you for that realization, Prabhu. So we should all be eager. Like now we are hearing about His Holiness Kadamba Kanana Swami Maharaj. He's on his way going back home, back to Godhead. He's on his final journey. This is what every devotee should aspire for, that towards the end of my life, Krishna, please make it such a way that devotee can gather around me and chant the holy name of the Lord to send me back home, back to Godhead. Not everybody will have this opportunity. It's a prayer we have to consciously make. Many of us, we plan for this life, but we don't plan for death. Because nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to die. But we should plan for death also, just like we are planning for life. We should pray to the Lord. Krishna, please, let me get the opportunity to die in the association of devotee. That is the essence of what we are in Srimad Bhagavatam. So Maharaj is leaving his body now. Devotees are chanting around him. He is chanting, he's hearing chanting. And we go back to the spiritual world. Hare Krishna. Any other question, comments, contribution? Institute. Who is hiding under the big institute? Who is that? Who is institute? Please, we want to see your face. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yadu Prabhu. Don't hide under the institutes. Remove your face. We want to see it.